Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. It's been a great week. It's been much better than the past few weeks. And I guess that's where, we are going into, and this is part two, I guess, of a two-part vlog this week. Yesterday we talked about, I had a vlog I recorded just because I was having some downtime and didn't know how to manage it, but feeling that void, and we talked about that in an earlier vlog as well. But what we're more so talking about today is managing my medication. And talked about it a lot over the last 5 years. I've had battles with it in my inner head, and I sometimes don't always see what the inner battle is, but we're finally at a point where I think we've discovered the necessity of it. It's been five, I think almost 6 years. It'll be about six here in the summer. And it's been one almost a year, almost 6 months since making destructive decisions regarding it. Now, before I go any further, I want to state that medication is not for everyone, and it affects everybody in different ways. But for me, I've been on it for 25 years, and it's at all different kind of, it's all different for everybody. But for me, it was a hard relationship with it as an autistic person because I've taken different medications before my diagnosis, but the primary, and those were not very helpful at times. They did very little to help. But they were the stimulants and stuff. But what we're talking about post diagnosis was some of the ones that really help, and they're very important to help aid in the autism. Now, as many don't know a lot about my backstory, I was diagnosed when I was 13 back in 1998. So you do the math, you figure out how old I am. So I've been on these medicines for a very long time. But it was not until yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, that I listened to a podcast from the Autism Dad. And he had a guest on there talking about psychotropic medications for his for not for his, but for in general. And they're not medical people either, nor am I, but knowing these medications that I was on, and then quit abrasively last summer, was is those of very intense need. So they were not the lowest class for that. They're in class one, but they were of a higher class. And so that makes me think, and that makes me realize the importance of it and the importance of never stopping taking it. I think I can continue as time has continued to evolve over the past 6 months since my relapse, and that I'm getting better on track. I'm starting to realize more and more the important when I do not take it, and how I react to things, and how things are, and especially around those that I love and care for me so much. And I think the part of it is seeing that I don't want people to not think of me in a different way, or me not be unreliable because I'm not caring for myself in the best way that I can. Um, I've done a lot of work over my years. I'm nearly 40 years old, and I don't look it, but I am. And I think sometimes you have to understand within yourself that there's been proven cocktails to work, and they do work for me, and you know they are, I need to adhere to them. Now, it's been a long road to adherence, to full adherence. I mean, I've had periods of full adherence, but never totally full periods of constant adherence. And even when I did, I still wasn't settled in completely from my relapse last year. But I'm now seeing, now that I'm about 2 weeks fully in, how beneficial it is to me, and how I can just be the old Dustin that I was before I left my parents' grasp, and how I am, in this new world. Now, granted, I did have a meltdown this week, and you can watch the last video to find out more about that and how, autistic meltdowns do happen, and there are strategies for that. But, and they do happen. Sometimes it was just me not recognizing my inner signals. And that is something that I have to do. I have to work on recognizing my inner signals better. And one of the biggest things that I think I've had to discover in that process was the ability of understanding that the medication is important. But secondly, what is more important about the need to know how those medications work and what works best for them and what doesn't work best for them. This week I was offered grapefruit, but I know I cannot have grapefruit with my medications. Not that I would like it anyway, but I know that it's very adverse for my medications. I also know that that I'm now learning, how important it is to, get through the day and work through the day, and understand how important it is to stay awake through the day and not fall askew and fall asleep throughout the day. It's keeping engaged and keeping busy. And I struggled with that a little bit last night. I was kind of a little anxious for some reason, and I don't really know why. But that's another, it's just, medication isn't an end all fix all. It's not meant to fix you. It's to help you and be a part of something that, it will help you and get better help you be able to manage your symptoms much better. And as time is progressing, I am seeing that being better. Over the course of the past 5 years, I have not allowed myself to do such a thing. It has been to the point where, I have not allowed myself that time, that grace period. And usually if I would get back on track, it'd usually be day 2 or day 3 where I'd be so irritable that it would just be horrible. And I know now that I need to do more things to relieve more stress and work at better relieving my betterment and my stress and stuff like that. It's just things that I have to do. And medication is just like we there is so much stigma between putting mental health medications on someone and that if they don't take them, they're gonna flip out. But I know I need them, and I know the importance of them and how important it is to be adherent. But we don't ever judge anybody for having a physic for taking physical health medication. So why is there this judgment or this perceived negativity about um taking a mental health or a psychotropic drug? Why is there such but I've been doing it for over 2 decades, 2.5 decades. And now that I see and that the past half decade, I have not been doing my best. And now I realize that I need to do my best each and every day. And and I have kept saying that time and time again, but I had lied and I had been deceitful about it. But now as I'm honestly, and you could put a good book in front of me and tell me that I was doing good, that I would swear to you on the good book and tell you that I am doing it, because I am doing it the best and the most honest way that I know I can. And and it only opens the doors for new things. There's a lot going on this year. There's could be some things going on next year. So I need to be my best each and every day and continue to live life as I so, need to. Now, over the when I started going on this trajectory of not going in the right way, when I lived independently, I was really bad in 2019, 2020, and 2020. Throughout the pandemic, I had struggles with it, I think because the world was struggling. And now, there's so much talk about mental health and so much talk about, adherence and things like that, that it's a necessary thing. Little by little, as the pandemic ended and as I made a very destructive decision that I should have never made in my life, and as, I get back on track, and then I had a little bit of, not understanding, and I had to be on that journey of self-discovery and figure out the why and the how and learn more about it and learn how it worked for me and working better at it. And now I see, the benefits of it. There was more benefits than there are risk, and what doesn't happen, the side effects, is not all that important to me. What is important to me is that I can be able to do the things that I love and I care about so much, the work that I do, and you know, just the things that I do, and you know, it's just amazing. You know, I'm an amazing person if you really get to know me. And, you know, I think if I, you know, would continue to take care of myself and work at being my best, I could expand myself behind my own home and beyond my own home and work better at doing things. You know, there should be no stigma with medication, but you know, in taking care of myself, and I'm working at doing things to combat some of the side effects, like walking every day and, you know, doing things of that nature to help combat the weight gain and things of that nature. And, you know, some things that happen, you know, that adults don't always like, and, you know, that I learned were good and are not, don't need to have anymore. You know what? We don't have to have them, but we rebuild ourselves in a way that we can be healthy for ourselves, for myself anyway. Had to find an identity that at least where I was happy with myself, and you know, I could be a happy person. Where I could be happy with my life internally, and you know, where I found on the identity world and what that was like, and where did it, you know, result to, and what did it look like for me, you know. And you know, I've always known I was different in some way, but where does that fall to where I'm not in the mainstream where there's a lot of vulnerability, but where is there, you know, a place, or where is there an identity that fits where I need to fit? And so, yeah, we'll be talking about that in 2024, don't worry. But you know, it's time, you know, to start making those changes and start understanding and accepting things for what they are, but also, and that radical acceptance, as has been the buzzword for the last few years, you know, is understanding, you know, the need to care for myself and the need to take that as medicines every single day, regardless if I want to or not. That has to be a principle, a building block, a bedrock of my recovery, and it should always be a bedrock of my recovery, because you know, you can't function. And I'm starting to see more and more and more and more as time goes on, as I'm getting progressively better and completely adherent more, that I'm seeing that I'm allowing myself to be more adherent. And there's going to be opportunities even this week coming up. So, you know, that I didn't even know about and that I have to be my best for. And that means, you know, taking care of things that I need to take care of, that the energy may not have been there in the past or whatever, but but it is there now, and it is a part of life, and I have to accept it for what it is. But you know, I'm working on it, and I'm going to be the best that I can be within myself. And that medication is a part of my life. It's a tool in my toolbox that I need to have for me to be well and live the best life I can. So I didn't want to bog you down too much today. I just wanted to close with a good week and have a good spirit. So just want to be sure to pass that along to you. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Pinterest at Dustin's Dynasty. I'm on the web. That website is Dustin's Dynasty USA at .com, and I'm on Linktree. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty. Again, I want to thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now, and have a good weekend, everyone.